Hello and welcome back to the Footy Mailbag for 2026. Welcome back. My name is Damo, and here with me, as usual, is Clarky. Happy New Year, mate.
Happy New Year from Johnny Two Lamps here.
Who?
Johnny Two Lamps, because my current visual is the two lamps that I haven't put away from Christmas because I wanted to use them. But I haven't found a lampshade that I like for them yet. Anyway, I'm 30 as fuck. Welcome back, boys.
And joining us today on the podcast, we've got a third member of Mailbag. His name is Nate, and he will be doing a captain's article every week for us during the season. Good to have you, Nate. Thanks for joining the team.
Thanks, Damo. Hi, Clarky. Good to be here.
So tell us about yourself, Nate. Which AFL club do you support? Tell us about your Supercoach journey.
How many lamps do you have?
How many lamps do you have?
I have 0 lamps. I am a Geelong supporter. I've been doing Supercoach for probably seriously for about 5 years now after doing it when I was in school and stuff. Had a bit of an off year last year, but normally around 1K, 2K, and yeah, absolutely love it all season.
If that's an off year, then I'm already grossly underqualified.
No, last year was about 20K.
And I'm one of the owners of this show. Yes, sorry, I said owners. Dave and I are co-owners of this show, and I'm already grossly underqualified. That's fantastic. So were you indoctrinated as a Geelong supporter from a young age, or was this a conscious choice?
Yeah, well, I was born in Geelong, so it's either you love Geelong or you hate Geelong. And I went with the love.
It's funny that there's a faction within Geelong of just anti-Geelong sentiment.
It is huge down there. Yeah, I knew as many people that hated Geelong as I knew Geelong supporters.
That's crazy. What's going on down there?
That's insane. I just thought everyone in Geelong loved Geelong.
Yeah, it feels like from the outside looking in, it's very much a happy field of Chris Scott loving, and Bailey Smith having, Max Holmes disco in community.
So I said you were going to do the captain's article every week for us. What's your mindset when it comes to captains?
I play for head-to-head.
Okay.
But generally speaking, my personal philosophy in head-to-head is I don't take first game in my captains. In the article, I will have a first game option, but I'm very much, because I'm head-to-head, I don't take first game, because then if my opponent does and miss, there's a very good chance I can cover off their captain.
That's good.
And then have a second crack if that fails. Then I've got that second crack in the bank.
Yeah.
Last year that worked pretty well. I had a very good captain. Year before that, I think that was one of my biggest struggle was the captains. I really worked on that for last year, and I felt pretty good about it.
So with your vice captain, do you go sort of high upside, and then with your captain you go for someone safe, or how do you sort of manage the vice captain?
If I can pick off their captain with my vice captain, my opponent, I'll do that. But yeah, I like high range, high volatility. I'm happy going with your halfback flanker that could pop off 130, like pop off 80 as well. I'm happy to absolutely swing for the fences there on the vice captain, because they're generally always a very good captain that you should know that you can lock in for 120.
Yeah. Excellent. So looking forward to that during the season. The team picker opened about a month ago, beginning of December, and Supercoach itself officially will open around January 20 if previous seasons are anything to go by. I'm sure all of us have at least looked at it for a moment, even if we haven't made a team. So we'll just go around and talk about first pick, early locks, early avoids, early value picks that have caught our eye, and then early watch list players that are role dependent, or you just want to see what they're like in a new system with a new coach, perhaps. So, Clarky, who was your first pick, or who was your early lock in the team picker?
I feel like I'm really boring, but it was Max Gawn. What more? I'm actually going to be insufferable about this a little bit. Even with the ruck rule changes, I think it would be stupid to start anyone other than Max Gawn and Tristan Xerri, or Brodie Grundy and Tristan Xerri, or Brodie Grundy and Max Gawn, whatever combination of those three it is, because we don't know how it's going to affect scoring. And we've spoken about this in many years gone past where the anti-Max Gawn sentiment is coming, listeners. People are going to tell you he's too old. People are going to tell you he can't do it. People are going to tell you Melbourne are going to be bad. And we are going to be bad. Let's make no mistake. But he is still the greatest ruckman in all of the AFL currently. And if he does turn out to be bad, and it does turn out that the new system, that Kingy's new system isn't really going to be lucrative for him, then you can get anyone. Like, we talk about this, like, he's the perfect parachute player. You can go to anyone. You can go down to literally any other player because he's the most expensive ruck. Build your team around that idea. And if it turns out that he is worth the squeeze, if albeit a little bit overpriced, you know he's a guy who can score 200 on any given, probably Sunday, given where Melbourne are predicted to finish. Any given Sunday, Max Gawn could score you 200.
Well, call me dumb because I don't have Max Gawn in the early iteration of my team.
I'll do it without you picking or not picking Max Gawn. I'll do it for free, Damo. Call me. You got my number.
I've got Tristan Xerri, but joining him in my ruck line at the moment is Luke Jackson. I think Luke Jackson being a ruckman doubling as a midfielder is perfect for the new ruck rules. And considering he played more of a midfield role towards the back end of the Dockers season, I think the ruck rules pretty much made for him at the moment. So he's my R2 at present. Brodie Grundy does spark interest if Luke Jackson doesn't look good in the preseason. I haven't ruled out Max Gawn, but like you say, he is expensive, and I'm trying not to spend a lot of money on my premiums this year just so I can get the value by low a bit on some of my players. So that is why Max Gawn's not in my team. But yeah, early lock for me was Tristan Xerri, and then I haven't gone with Max Gawn like you said we should, Clarky. I've gone with Luke Jackson to pair with him. Luke Jackson's not locked in though, but I just thought I would tell you how dumb I am.
My lock, not saying we. Then turned the Clarky versus the world very quickly, didn't we? I understand why you're hot on Luke Jackson, and it doesn't shock me at all, Damo, because I know you. I know what you're about. You're a man I've seen about town in his little purple shirts, and he's, we're the best team in all the West. Hayden Young's so good. So you know what? You know where Luke Jackson learnt it all, Damo? You know where he learned? Don't you wonder where your mum and dad got it all, Damo?
From Sam Naismith.
Yeah, probably. Nate, who are you running on the ruck line? Settle this debate once and for all, and just remember that we are your new bosses.
Xerri is locked in at the moment. My team,
Good.
I had a lot of cash, so I've got Gawn in there, but it could easily flip to Jackson if I need cash. So I am between Xerri's my lock, and it's going to be either Jackson or Gawn depending on my structure in the end for team and players.
It's a really interesting year, I think, because there's some interesting options outside that upper echelon, but I feel almost flipped to last year and the year before we were kind of seeking value. But this year it's like, well, we know that Tristan Xerri is, quantity. We know that Luke Jackson is a quantity. Even Darcy Cameron, I think, is someone who, if someone was like, I'm going to start him, I wouldn't stop them because he was the pinnacle of consistency, I feel like, last year. At least every time I was looking, he was just averaging away at like 110. I'm like, that's perfect. That's exactly what you want. So it's good that we're all kind of in that same bucket, I think, around the rucks.
Yeah. I think the new ruck rules have led people to go safe with that and just want to set and forget. Obviously, some people are looking at some cheaper guys like Jordan Sweet with the new midfield that Port Adelaide's putting together. But yeah, I think most people are going for set and forget, just pay up and then move on. Another guy that I locked into my team early on was Errol Goulden. I think he only played, 9 or 10 games post-injury and was like integral to the way the Sydney Swans wanted to play under Dean Cox. And I think that the fact that he's come in at under 600k for us this season is just bargain almost. And I am not worried by the early buy. I think he is going to outperform his price point, and he's actually got someone to kick to in the forward line now as well. So his kicks will actually go somewhere, and hopefully we see a bit of an uptick in points just from his disposals also becoming score involvements.
Yeah, I can get behind that. He was someone that a lot of people would have started last year, barring injury, and he immediately came back into sides last year, and just impact. And you can just see it. He's a guy who you watch him play and you're like, that's him. That's the fella. I want to put him in my team. So I actually probably agree with you as one of my first midfielders is Errol Goulden for 560k, and then the rest of it can sort itself out around that.
Yeah. Nate, who was your first picked in the midfield?
I went Bont and Butters.
You've paid.
I'm paying up, and I want strong captains options. So the ruck line, and then my midfield. So I've got 4 strong options straight away.
Excellent. Are you worried about Bont being over 700k with the early buy and all that?
Are you worried about Bont being over 70? And I was like, he's very old.
Yeah, that price 700k is a bit worrying, but if he drops off, he's 650. Even it's very hard to get 600k during the season to actually upgrade into him, because he's not going to have that absolute down game unless he gets injured during the game. Like, I think it's going to be hard to upgrade into. Like, we've seen that in previous years. It's hard to get these good guys.
Yeah.
Because who tags him? Like, how often does he get tagged out of a game to actually have a 50?
I have started 2 700k guys in the past, and they have both burnt me. So I don't go for anyone over 700k.
Who were the guys? Name and shame, Damo.
I think one was Lockie Neal,
Boo.
and I think the other was Tom Rockcliffe.
You know what? You don't have to worry about Lockie Neal this year, Damo. Don't worry about that. He's taken some lessons from the Dane Zorko leaf of captaining. If you catch my meaning, listeners. I agree that you should be wary of these really expensive guys. But Nate, you've hit the nail on the head where the Bont specifically is the one guy who puts the doubt about every player. Like he's the exact example of the, but what if? Because every year that you go, he's too expensive, I'm not going to start him. He averages 130. He's a captain option every week, and you spend all year trying to chase his tail to get Bontempelli. There is no other player that has that kind of feeling where you're like, he's so unattainable if you don't have him. So just have him.
Yeah. So you've got Zach Butters as well. You've previously spoken to us about wanting to avoid Zach Butters. What has earned him a spot in your early side so far?
I don't think he's as much as an idiot as I think he is. I just didn't like a few things he did with how he puts his head over the ball and does a few things and acts up. But really, there's much worse. Like, as you said, Lockie Neal, much worse people. There's Dane Zorko is still going around. There's still a lot of fake tough guys. There's still a lot of them going around.
The Dane Zorko boos start immediately this year. I agree with you on Butters. Something about Butters, I think he's a very good footballer, but he's just got a bit of that rat about him where, like, I think you could be easily convinced to not like him if you were so inclined. But you're probably correct in thinking that he is a much better option to start this year. I want to throw out a name, Damo.
Go on.
Matt Rowell. I like him. He's a good fella. The January team is for vibes. The January team is for the boys and girls out there to just put together the team that goes, I like all of these people, and there is no data that says I shouldn't select them. And Matt Rowell is a really, really top tier candidate for me for that. I did not get him when I should have last year. I regretted not having it, and I like the way he plays football.
I mean, the Suns have an amazing start to the year. They've got West Coast and Richmond and Melbourne and then Sydney and then Essendon in their first 6 games. So he's going to have if he's going to have a run, it's going to be at the beginning of the season in that stretch against those teams. So I do like starting with a Matt Rowell, even a Noah Anderson. I'd like as well if someone wanted to start them. But yeah, I completely understand the Matt Rowell decision.
Who are we locking in as a defender? Because this is actually the one where I don't know if I can start Nass or not. We've got the conflicting idea of he is too expensive, but also he probably is out of the top 10 defenders, one of the candidates that I go, absolutely, this guy's going to average 110 plus this year.
It will surprise no one when I tell them I have Jordan Clark in my backline. I think
you get the frick out of here, Damo. You get the frick out of here.
I think the addition of Judd McVie will only free up Jordan Clark more. It's clear they want the ball in Jordan Clark's hands, and he didn't really have much support aside from a couple of cameo appearances or cameo roles from guys like Warner, Ryan, even Heath Chapman sometimes. Now he's got McVie to kind of play opposite him. It will mean that teams have to shift their focus to more than one player, and I think that improves his output more than it hinders him. I think the guys that played smaller roles in assisting Jordan Clark's output will just get reductions in what they were doing rather than Jordan Clark getting a reduction in what he was doing. So I think Jordan Clark is going to be a good pick again.
Okay. Are you running Nassless?
I also have Nas, but okay. I do wonder about his price, but the way that St Kilda were using him towards the back end of last season, I think that they're paying him too much on a contract to not use him in that same way again, regardless of the new recruits that have come in around all the St Kilda players.
Yeah.
I think he's going to continue just doing what he was doing towards the back end of last season, and there's not many halfbacks that can get you up to 160 2 weeks in a row. You'll see Bailey Dale do it once when he plays Essendon, but then go back down to a 75 the week after. Nas was just doing it for fun towards the back end of last season. It didn't matter who he was playing. He was just playing his natural game, and I think they're going to expose his natural game a lot more to try and benefit the team.
Nate, where do you sit on the Nas front, and who's in your sights as your top defender?
So, because I went so big with Bont, Butters and the ruck line, my defenders, I have gone value. I've gone very cheap. I think upside, not Nas. I was looking at Blakey and I've gone down. My first lock was actually Jasper Fletcher. I think he's in for a big role at Brisbane.
I like that a lot.
Shown that he can do it, and I've gone, as I said, I went a cheap route. It was him that I've gone for. He was my first pick. Just as he said, vibes, fun. I like watching him play football. I could see that he's going to be a very, very, very good footballer and has a very good role.
Jasper Fletcher's a great pick. There's a lot of guys around that price point that really catch my eye, and I could see myself starting with at least two of the guys around that price point. I really like the Jasper Fletcher pick, and at Brisbane, they've got Fletcher, they've got Wilmot, they've even got Zorko, Boo, they've even got Kitty and Coleman coming back into the fold. They've just got guys that rebound at will, and they're all good Supercoach scorers. So I really like that Jasper Fletcher pick, because even if he gets locked down in one game, there's going to be other guys that get off the chain. So he's not going to get tagged every single week, and he might not even be the first choice to get tagged in that Brisbane team anyway.
Look, you guys are going to think that I am an insane person. The only two defenders that I have, just to pull the curtain back a little bit, listeners, when Damo mentioned the people who haven't quite put together a team yet, that was specifically in our group, me. I forgot the team picker open. I was excited. I was reading everyone's teams, and I was like, I should do that. I've had a bit of a busy Christmas and post-Christmas period, so I just haven't ended up doing it. I've just got a team page that is just filled with all of my, I like these guys. These are some good boys. This is what I want. The only two defenders I currently have in my side are Tom McCarthy from West Coast and Archie Roberts, because I like them. I want a reason to pick these guys, and that means that the only two defenders I have are both just around 500k. And I think there's a lot of value to be found in the defensive options this year. I'm looking at guys specifically over the preseason, like Jacob Farrow, a 163 defender mid rookie at Essendon, Xavier Taylor at Melbourne. I think there's a very reasonable chance that he could be someone worth looking at over the course of the preseason. West Coast again, the guys like Bo Allen and Luke Gregor didn't really get a chance to do anything. I think we're probably safer to pick one big gun and then take a bit more risk with some of these defenders, because there's a lot of good guys between 350 and 5. 100?
Yeah. You've mentioned a few rookies there. I mean, I find that when I build my team at the moment, there are rookies I don't have in my team that I want to have in my team. But if I fill out all the rookies that I want in my team, then I only start with maybe like 10 or 11 premiums, and that's not enough of a backbone to support the team out. Like, it's good for cash generation, but it's not going to score well. So this year it's going to be more important than ever that you pick the right backbone to support your rookies and then the right rookies to go with them for the cash generation, because there are some guys who are like really cheap in the rookie aspect there. Like, yeah, some really good rookies, which we'll talk about a bit later, because rookies don't really mean a lot at this point in the season.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Nate, who is someone you have avoided early on?
I've avoided the high-priced defenders. I've got all my defenders in this team is those value guys, 475 to 430k. That's what I'm looking. I've pretty much wiped out any defender that's above 500k is off my board at this stage. All of them, all gone.
Yeah.
The Lekdog school of thought.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
TM copyright, Lekdog.
It is.
That's, you know what, I think that's fair. Also, maybe we should create an official list of footballers who have done crimes that we don't pick anymore. Jack Silvani, see you in hell, brother. I'll see you there.
Jack Silvani didn't do a crime.
His brother. Sorry, the Silvanis as a whole leave a really bad... Sorry, crime families, Damo, is what I meant to say.
Crime families. Ah, yes.
Crime families.
The mafia.
Yeah, the mafia. The Silvani mafia. Yeah, kind of gross, though. Dane Zorko, boo. Lockie Neal, boo. Isaac Rankin, boo. I'll say it. He can reform, but I'll never forget.
Jordan De Goey, boo.
Yeah, Jordan De Goey.
Who are you avoiding, Clarky?
Christian Petrarca. I'll say it. I want to wait and see something from him.
Okay.
I think the move, 522k for a mid forward, is really good. But he's also a mid forward who's been averaging like 90 for about 3 years now. So wait and see. Don't put him in your starting lineup. That's too much money to spend on a guy, even in the forward line. When, pay up for Harry Sheezel at 580. I'd probably even say I would rather take Sam Darcy at 517k, because I know exactly what he's going to do in the Western Bulldogs side to score the points, where Christian Petrarca is a good player who we haven't seen play with the Gold Coast list yet. So
yeah,
where's the money? Where's the money coming from? Where's the points coming from? I don't know. I'll probably be avoiding him.
And and it was underrated, but Gold Coast lost a lot of players because they weren't playing their desired roles last season. Like Sam Flanders got out of there because he wanted to be a midfielder. And the Gold Coast were just basically like, who are you pushing out of the midfield? We have to put you at half forward. We have to put you at half back. And then they didn't have a spot for him at half back anymore because they brought in Dan Rioli and John Noble. So he was playing out of like his top two positions. And so he got out of there. So where is Petrarca going to fit? It's all well and good to put him in the forward line, but we've seen when that happened at Melbourne, he just wasn't getting the consistent scoring.
Yeah, he's not
that he should be. So yeah, I completely understand that avoidance of Christian Petrarca. Staying in the forward line, also dual position. I don't understand why people are so into starting Adam Treloar. I know his 311k. I know his dual position, but 3 years ago I might have said, wow, that's a really good price for Adam Treloar, but he's just missed the best part of, 2 seasons because of soft tissue injuries, and it's not even the same soft tissue injury that's been keeping him out. It's been a hamstring, it's been a groin, it's been a calf, it's been there's just been different injuries. Like, he is 32, almost 33. There is value on the surface, but I just don't think that buying someone at that awkward price of 311k, hoping that he can get to a point where he's made enough money that you can move him to someone more reliable, I just don't think it's a good tactic, because there's a chance that he only plays the first couple of games of the season and then has to tap out.
Yeah, especially. Why would you pick the most cursed man in the AFL? Now that
Yeah.
what's the name of the Melbourne ruckman who went to GWS, bald guy?
Braden Pruce.
Braden Pruce, yeah, he was the most cursed guy, and then now he's retired, and now the most cursed guy is Adam Treloar again. Because
It's been passed on.
Well, every time it seems like he's got something going, he explodes.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you on that one. It's already a mess in the forward line as well, and it's already a mess everywhere. You don't need to be adding risk to your sides.
So there's a lot of value this year. Who are the early value picks that we really like at this stage at their price?
Nate, I'll let you fill this one first.
So probably my value pick, I think, is in the backline, Nick Newman, coming off his ACL. He's had a couple of years where he scored 100, and he's priced, I think, at like in the 80s. So I think he definitely could outperform his price. And the other one for me is Charlie Curnow. You talked about Gordon kicking the ball inside 50. Charlie, when fit in that Carlton team, was a top 6 forward for a year. I think he's definitely a guy that Charlie Curnow's in my team at that value, and so is Nick Newman coming back from his ACL, I think it was.
It was a
Proven scorer.
I think it was a patella tendon issue, so it wasn't even an ACL, which means that the recovery wouldn't have been that gruesome for him either.
Yeah, definitely. They're the two guys I'm thinking that I'll be putting in as value for me.
Yeah, I like Nick Newman, especially if beloved friend of the pod, Pommy, is to be believed. He also very highly rates Nick Newman, and I recently saw a video that Pommy did that I was like, wow, Nick Newman is the saviour that Carlton need.
Yeah, I think I watched the same video as you, Clarky. He mentioned that I don't think people outside of Carlton realise how much importance Nick Newman has on the way the backline functions for Carlton. So I really like him, 439k. He was one of the top defenders the year before last. So yeah, I really like him as a value option. I've got him in my team as well. Clarky, what about you for value picks?
Value, I hate doing early value picks because I don't want to be wrong. I really don't.
You can't be wrong in January, Clarky. You can't be wrong in January.
You can't be wrong in January, but also people will definitely hold you accountable if they even bothered to remember. I like Sam Durham, 488k. I think Essendon need to shake things up.
Yeah,
Sam Durham is the perfect person to help them shake things up. I think there are actually a lot of Essendon players that I'm reasonably excited about what they can do in 2026. It feels like a bit of a reset button has sort of been pushed with they blooded a lot of young players last year. I think they've discovered a lot of hidden talent from their list.
Yeah.
The other two guys that probably come across my radar, I would be interested to see what Clayton Oliver does at GWS. Just because I think theoretically he still does all the good scoring Supercoach things. He just probably needs to be used effectively. And the other name that crosses my lips quite often is Sam Banks over at Richmond. He's not necessarily, I know in the value section it's probably bad to say he's not necessarily value, is maybe closer to a breakout candidate, but I think his role is slowly expanding at Richmond from the defensive line. And I just really think that he is kind of at a bit of a precipice of he's either going to explode or he's just kind of, this is it, and he's going to be like a middling Supercoach scorer. So he's somebody who I would probably be willing to take a role on, and I'll feel much more confident taking that role in him than, say, a Jaden Short.
Right. Sam Banks scored really well when Jaden Short wasn't playing for them while he had that long layoff. And I wonder if Jaden Short will get a role in the backline considering all the guys that are coming in around him. Like Josh Gibcus is now fully fit and likely to have a role. He's going to be good value. He's rookie priced. Sam Grill they got from the draft. It looks like he's going to start his career at Richmond off a halfback flank as well. So I think there's a role for Sam Banks to even have a sort of like a leadership follow me kind of role as well. So I do like the Sam Banks pick as a breakout option, as a value option. So I do like the Sam Banks call there, Clarkey.
I would also say Xavier Lindsay is 273k for a Melbourne squad that has lost their kind of core midfielders. There's a lot to play for players of his caliber, like him, Harvey Langford, Trent Rivers, Caleb Windsor. These are really skilled guys who are going to need to be shuffled around in some kind of order, whether that is meaningful to make him worth the squeeze. I don't think he'd be a keeper, but I think he's probably somebody who represents value at that price for, he strings together, say, 5-6 weeks of decent scoring.
I mean, Xavier Lindsay started off his rookie season with scores of 86 and 78, and then he got injured for those couple of weeks with that knee, and then never quite found that continuity again. So there is a chance that he outperforms this price point and sticks around that 80 average on a wing or off a half-back flank for Melbourne, especially now that they no longer have McVee and their backline is going to get a complete, makeover under Stephen King, because Stephen King has put a blank field up on the board when he first got into Melbourne and said there are no spots currently locked in, so all these players are going really hard in the preseason.
It's all to play for.
It's all to play for.
Respectfully, what do you say is respectful? I don't care what you were doing before, but it's anyone's. This is it. Everybody gets a blank slate when I'm here, boys.
I don't even need to play the clip because Clarkey did a perfect impression.
It was like the most football pep talk that I've ever heard. It was like the most cut and paste from whatever the sports movie equivalent of a Hallmark Christmas movie is, where it's I'm the new coach in town. I don't care what you've done. Where everybody gets a fair chance in my team, and then the poor kid comes out and he's like, "Oh, I'm really talented, but I'm using these shoes that have holes in them, Mr. King." Xavier Lindsay could be the shoe holes kid. I'm very tired. I've had a long day, guys. Stop letting me talk. Any other avoids from any other value? We've done avoids. Any other value from you guys?
I mentioned Sam Flanders before at 396k in the forward line. I think he's got at least 100k to make on that price. Hayden Young, 389k. He's value, but he's probably also a preseason watch list to see if he even makes it to the start line. I also really like Todd Marshall at 147k. He's moving to the back line and looking like he's going to do a rebounding, intercepting role as a third tall for Port Adelaide. So he could do a Charlie Comben from a few years ago and make 150k really, really quickly, but he wouldn't be a guy you hold on to. He'd be a guy that would just make a nice chunk of change for you so you can upgrade really quickly.
One more I liked is at Essendon, like Clarkey said, is Braden Fiorini coming across from Gold Coast. He's shown that he can score before, and I think that Essendon team, there could be a good roll-up. Who knows what Zach now does. So I think he could be a guy that gets that midfield time now.
Yeah.
And I think he's just over 500k.
Yeah, 515k. He dominated the VFL, and if he plays anything close to that role at Essendon, then he should be a good money maker or even a good keeper for people if they want to hold on to him. 515k is almost keeper territory, but if he gets the role, then it doesn't matter what price he is, really.
Yeah, agreed.
Who's on your pre-season watch list, or who's a role-dependent selection that you've got your eye on there, Nate?
For fitness, Jamarra Ugle-Hagan in the forward line. If he's fit, he's in my team at 214k. I think he'll outperform that with that early run user that Gold Coast has, and that midfield only got stronger probably with Petrarca.
Yeah,
I think, he's definitely role dependent. And then Josh Weddle as well at Hawthorn for the back line.
Yeah.
Seeing if he gets more midfield minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean, Hawthorn tried to beef up their midfield by going all in on Zach Merritt and then didn't end up walking away with anyone during the trade period. And clearly they think the midfield is a place where they need to find some extra, some other gear that they can pull. So Weddle, McKenzie, even more minutes for Dylan Moore or Nick Watson is something to look out for. So yeah, I really like the Josh Weddle call there. Clarkey, what about you? Who's on your pre-season watch list?
I have taken the very broad approach of I don't actually have any specific players on my watch list. I have clubs that I really want to pay attention to and see how they're evolving, because I think that's going to let myself be led by the club, what the club's actually doing, instead of worrying about specific players who I'm like, well, I'm just taking a guess and focusing on this one guy. So I'm thinking specifically teams like St Kilda, Port Adelaide, Richmond, and Melbourne are probably some of the top ones I've got. Essendon, as I said before, has heaps of really great young talent that they're probably looking to shake things up as well. And it's just finding where all these little fellas are going to sit. I actually think Carlton probably has some juice to give this year somewhere. So because they are just another team that's a bit adrift at the moment. So like they've got, guys like Adam Chero, Patrick Cripps, and Sam Walsh, and it's like, well, one of these guys has to take a load and put it on their back, right? Like they have to really start elevating. So I think I'm gonna just continue to keep an eye on these preseason notes and see what the club's game strategy is going to be, and where let the people sort of fall into place from there a bit closer to season come.
So we spoke about the value guys in defense, the under 500 guys in that sort of 400 to 500k range. I've probably got my eye on about 5 or 6 guys in that range. I think we spoke about a lot of them in Jasper Fletcher, who's in your team currently, Nate, but I'm also looking at guys like Colby McKercher.
Have we done a whole pod without mentioning Harry Sheezel, by the way?
Almost. Like Colby McKercher, Miles Bergman is supposed to have a bit of a role in the midfield for Port Adelaide coming up, so that's something to watch as well. So there's guys in that range. There's a lot of guys in that 4 to 500k range in defence that I'm keeping an eye on. I haven't really narrowed down any names because there's so much value in that area, but if someone pops up that I feel like I need to have, I'm probably going to make room for them. And the other guy that I've got my eye on is Kozzy Pickett. I think he's going to be a sneaky forward pick because I think he's going to be part of that revamped midfield at Melbourne alongside his cousin Latrell. I think with Latrell being able to go up forward, I think Kozzy's going to get a bit of midfield time, and it's going to be exciting for Melbourne to watch that.
Latrell Pickett's such a fucking cool name. It's so cool. It's just like, imagine, like, I don't even need to hear what he looks like. I just know he's like this weird, handsome, talented dude. I actually disagree with Kozzy Pickett. I'm really hesitant to start him at almost 500k because it's still not happened yet. But I agree with you, Damo, that we should be watching him very closely to see what that split is, because Melbourne still ain't got no goals. Where are we going to get goals from? Is Myercheck going to score 5 goals a week?
Brody Myercheck, Latrell Pickett. I think
Name
Stephen King.
4.
Stephen King at Cade Chandler.
Name
Bailey Fritsch.
Big blank. The big blank board that Stephen King put up wasn't
Jacob Van Rooyen.
It wasn't blank slate. It was
Matthew
I don't know
Jefferson.
who's going to kick our goals. Matthew Jefferson. But yeah, I agree with you.
Bailey Laurie. Is he a forward or is he?
He's kind of a bit of a mix. I think he's
Okay.
listed as a forward. He's like a forward mid guy.
Anyway, yeah, I think Stephen King's going to try and get that forward line moving and working finally. So that's exciting. But yeah, I want to see what they do with Kozzy Pickett, because if he's in the midfield, then he's going to be. I think he's going to be someone you need up forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, well, actually, let's put him on our watch list. Harry Sheezel for 580k mid forward. Is that anything that's going anyone's? He's kind of like in my team, but I feel a little bit like when I had Bailey Smith last year, where I was just like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I've picked him in my team because he feels like the only safe selection up forward, and that's in inverted commas. But at 580k, it feels like a dirty price range to select someone that high priced in your forward line.
Yeah, so pick him as a mid, and then we'll just swap him later. I like it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, put an extra.
It's a good plan
in your forward line.
It's a good plan.
It's a bit like having a chocolate for dinner, Damo.
Yeah.
it's a lot of money, right? Is it a lot of money for a guy? Like, how confident? Nate, what's your thoughts on Harry Sheezel?
Sheasel's locked in. He was my first pick forward. I think
Okay.
the forward line, the options just aren't there. Rankin, is he still missing a game or two to start the season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick Marn's out for the year. And then you've got Pataka, who was on your avoid list. And that's 3 out of the first 5 already. You can't go near them.
Man, the forward line sucks again, guys.
There's only 4 guys from last season that we can pick as a forward that averaged higher than 89. So
Sam Darcy,
he averaged. Where is he?
95. I've got here Sam Darcy.
95. Okay, I'm going for. I've got it sorted by total points. I'm sorry.
No, I think you're still right. It's probably about 10 or so guys.
Yeah.
But they're mostly key forwards, so it's actually kind of Nate's call on Charlie Kerner earlier actually is a little bit more attractive to me.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm thinking like, well, hang on, let's see what Riley Thilthorpe did last year and see what Sam Darcy did last year.
For me, it's the Tom Hawkins rule. Tom Hawkins was always, you never started him, there's always a top 6 forward. There's always key forwards that always are around the mark. And when you look at the options we have, there's not much there. It's very slim picking the forward line this year. We might need DPP through the year, but you got to start someone.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And I'm definitely not starting Jai Simpkin. Fucking 13th based on price. 470k for Jai Simpkin. Get out of here.
Actually, one thing I will point out is Lincoln McCarthy at the Brisbane is 170k to start. 2 or 3 years ago, he was the 16th ranked forward for total points. I don't know where he fits in the Brisbane team, and maybe he doesn't anymore, but I just want to bring up that at 170k, he might be one of those sneaky rookies that someone out there starts and just reaps all the rewards of him getting to like 400k.
Yeah,
If he starts.
If he starts.
If he starts,
if he
that's
gets
it.
there.
Yeah, if he gets there. All right. Well, that's it for this episode of the Footy Mailbag. Go check out the website. We're going to be doing more written content over the preseason. There's a little 2026 link there. There's already a few articles up right now. I've done a real rules of Supercoach sort of thing where I've talked about my little philosophies, and then I've done a cash cow index with all of the cheaper guys that you should be keeping an eye on.
Sorry, I thought for some reason in my head, I remember reading it, I thought the article was like Damo's rules, but you calling it real rules. I love that. It's got like supermarket footy magazine energy to it, because I hope the rules is spelled with a Z.
It is not. It is
I
not.
think you need to update the website.
Okay.
Go read it though. It's a really good read. I absolutely loved it. For some reason, I was just taken back by real rules as opposed to those fake rules that Clarkey talks about every week.
Yeah, anyway, that's it for this episode of the Footy Mailbag. Hopefully the community welcomes you with open arms. Nate, thanks for joining us on this episode.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Damon. Thanks, Clarkey.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you.
If you haven't given us a rating on your listening platform of choice, please do so. It helps new listeners find us. We want to get in as many ear holes and eyes as we can in 2026. You can find us at the Footy Mailbag on pretty much every social media there is. Clarky, what are you laughing about?
You're watching a grown man actively try to not just scream the words. Make sure you get the Footy Mailbag in all your holes. Look, once again, I'm the king of pulling back the curtain here. I've had a very, very tough and tiring day today, so I apologize that my filter has been almost zero. But Damo is right. This is actually the best time of year for us because it's where we find our new listeners. It's where we try to get ourselves in as many people's hearts as possible because that's what we're about. We're the Footy Mailbag. We are about positivity. We're about making Supercoach fun, and we're about giving you the best advice that we possibly can. So ratings and reviews help us a lot. Word of mouth helps us almost as much, if not more. If you know somebody who's starting out in Supercoach, if you are starting up a league and people are like, I don't know if I want to play, I don't understand Supercoach at all, send them our way. We'll answer their questions for them. We'll take our rings. We'll show them the real rules of Supercoach. But very genuinely, we appreciate all of you listeners. And, if you can help us grow, that helps us a lot. And it makes us feel good. It makes our hearts feel very full that you're here.
Very well said. You can find us at the Footy Mailbag on pretty much every social media there is. I am at DamoSC on Twitter. Add an underscore to that for Instagram. Oh, before we go, I actually posted to Instagram in the off season.
Damo was taken hostage.
I posted my Spotify rap to my story, and I kept getting, and people asked me if I was okay.
Who was number one in his Spotify Wrapped?
It was Bon Iver.
Ooh,
and my number 2 was Coheed and Cambria, I think.
Great album. Searching for Tomorrow. Great album. Nate, who was on your? Do you do Spotify? Or you're an Apple Music guy.
And I see Spotify was a lot of country music. Actually, I got into country in 2025.
Nice.
It was the first time Papa Roach was my number one for over 10
love
years
that.
in a row.
I love that.
Papa Roach for Jelly Roll.
Ooh.
Okay.
You know what? I do like Jelly Roll. He's definitely got the best vibes. He's one of those guys I'm like, I don't ever want to hear a bad story about you because that would absolutely devastate me to have to blacklist you. My top artist on my Apple Music was Baby No Money. Baby No Money released his album this year and I absolutely love that dude. He's unproblematic. He is pro-LGBT. He is pro-artist and anti-AI. He is everything that is unproblematic about music. Go listen to all those. Go listen to Jelly Roll. Go listen to Baby No Money. Go listen to Coheed and Cambria and Bon Iver.
And Clarky, keep talking and tell people where they can find you on Twitter.
God, don't even bother. I'm on Twitter at QuantumJC, or you can find me at my other podcast, the Falcon Footy Pod, at Falcon Footy Pod on the Twitter. We're coming back. We're figuring out a post-Jesse life with just the three of us, but we'll be back this month, next month, whenever we plan it.
And Nate, do you have any social medias where people can follow you if they want to?
No, not at this stage. I might get into it, but it's very quiet on the social media front for me.
So if you want to get in contact with Nate, just follow our page and we'll pass on any messages if you have them. Thanks for listening. We'll talk next time.
Let's run a community poll for what Nate's Twitter handle should be. Is Nate at Nate SC taken?
I think that's taken.
Oh.
I think that's taken.
Maybe we get the listeners to throw suggestions, Nate, and that can be your Twitter handle. We'll get you on the Twitter this year.
Yeah, sounds good.
Done.
All right. Done.
He said,
all
yeah.
Right.
It's a very polite. We'll see. We'll see when we get home.
Done. Roll credits.